Hi.
Oh my
This is Miss Julia. Are you ready for this?
I'm really nervous. So my father's from Samoa. He's from a village called Tulaeli. He was sent from Samoa to New Zealand to basically have a chance at a better life. One of the things, being the eldest of 5, that I think there was a lot of pressure on him. There was a heck of a lot of pressure to not waste the opportunity, and it's something that he passed down on to me as one of his daughters. And really, the things that he continues to say to me now are just keep your head down, stay humble, stay hungry, and work hard. Those are his constant messages to me. It's been something that has really held me quite strong in difficult times, or as I've moved away from home and continually moved away from my parents. It's that constant reminder of be humble, pray, stay hungry, and work hard. So I grew up with my mum. She's from England, and she actually got sent over from England to New Zealand with her family at about 3 years old. So my mum actually experienced a lot of really difficult times. Essentially, there was a lot of pressure on me to not be a failure. She chose to, battle against some of the negativity that was around us and really trying to show me and give me the best life she possibly could. So I owe a lot of my foundations and my drive and work ethic and, I guess, determination to my mum, because that's exactly what she demonstrated. So that was kind of how we started. We lived in Grey Lynn before Grey Lynn was cool, which is in Auckland. Actually, at that point, my mum and I were living in Grey Lynn, but I was going to a school a bit further away, and it was in probably a higher socioeconomic area, and we were living in a lower socioeconomic area. And some of the students, they wouldn't ever come to my house because their parents told them, or their parents basically said that we were in a dangerous neighborhood. And I found that really hard, and I was one of maybe 2 Pacific Islanders at the school. I was always stood out. I was always told I was intimidating. I was always told that, I'm too loud. I'm too much of a nuisance. And I think just because I was so different compared to a lot of other kids, I was always I was an easy target for being the one to blame. And that was really tough to kind of work my way through. And it probably stood with me for a while, where I just thought that, my differences were a problem, especially when you're not seeing people around you that are like you. And I think that's why I'm so willing to, I guess, share my story and really hope and support any of you guys that are trying to move into technology, because the more that we can increase the representation of us in a room, the greater the power that we have. So I didn't get into technology right away. I actually pursued more of a creative and arts route. So what I studied was marketing, political science, and media communications. So I didn't actually study any of the traditional STEM subjects. And my first job was in advertising, which was really, really interesting. It was all about understanding human behavior. And then I moved into market research, which again specialized in understanding, why do people do what they do. And it was around this sort of time that I started thinking about, what is the category that I would really love to deep dive into. And I always saw of technology as something that was futuristic, it was expanding, but I was always worried I wasn't smart enough. And that was a big thing that I had at the back of my mind, is like, man, I'm pretty sure that's just for the smart kids, and I'm not really like that. So, I didn't really back myself. And there came a point in my career where I was like, what have I got to lose? So I sent out my CV to about 50 different jobs, heard back from 2, and one of them was HP. I took 8 weeks, 5 interviews, and then it was for a job in London. So I packed up my stuff within 2 weeks, and I moved my whole life from Sydney to London and started working in technology. And that was about 2 years ago now. So I've lived in London. I worked in London for a year as the strategic planner and insights manager for UK and Ireland. And now I'm in California, living in San Diego, sunny San Diego, and I work in digital intelligence, which sounds kind of confusing, but it's actually really cool. So what it essentially is, it's is the ability to kind of scrape all of the data that's available online and use it to understand, how are people speaking on social media, how are people talking on blogs, how are people, what kind of news articles are out and about these days, and using all of that data and analyzing it, so putting in a human analysis part, and turning it into insights that solve business problems. And one of the things that keeps my managers wanting to, explore different areas with me is because I am adaptable, I'm enthusiastic, I like learning, and it's kind of being really flexible about, what kind of challenges you can kind of tackle. And that's one thing that I would definitely say is what can hold you in a really good place when you're starting to apply for jobs is really leaning into the fact that you want to keep learning. And working in technology means that the rate of change speeds up and it's greater over time. And what is going to keep you relevant in the future is just having that hunger and that curiosity and really enjoying the process of learning. So I've been lucky enough to do a lot of travel for work. I've lived in 2 different countries, which has been amazing, both the United Kingdom and in America. And I've gotten to see a lot of different countries as well. So I've been to Prague, I've been to France, I've been to Chicago, New York, a whole bunch of different, it's blown my mind. And there's a few things that I try and keep with me as I'm making these changes in my life. And one of the things that I think really sticks with me is always putting people first. So always speaking on behalf of what's really human in all of this. So when we're making decisions and we're choosing about what we talk about our products and how we talk about our products, I'm always thinking, what is the human language? What is the human insight? How can we really speak to people? And I think that comes from, again, being somebody that really cares about people, and I think that's a cultural thing, as I'm always thinking about the greater good. I'm always thinking about the collective. But it was hard. It was really hard because I'm still the only Pacific Islander that I have seen working in HP in both the UK and in the US. And it does become quite tough to always, you want people that you can resonate with. And I am kind of different, so I obviously turn up in a lot of color and stuff, and my jacket has words on it, and it's taken me a lot of bravery to still own who I am. And I think that's another thing that I really want to try and enforce is that as you're coming into different environments, don't blend in, don't become like the wallpaper, own your space. Know that you're just as worthy, you're just as valuable, that the reason why they picked you is because they want you and they don't want you to become like everybody else. So that's something I would definitely pass on. So this is a little bit of my world. I hope you've enjoyed hearing some of my story, but if there's one thing I do want to leave you with in this moment in your life, which is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Now I know it's obviously cheesy, but it is true, and all the best, good luck, be bold, be yourself, and just put yourselves out there, because you will never know what could happen unless you try.